Welcome back for part 2 of how to help your kids learn how to self-assess. And today we're going to be specifically focusing on how to help them self-assess their movement and how they want to improve, how they're doing well, and things like that. So my first tip is to help your kids understand what is involved in a certain movement. So for example, if they want to do a step vault, if they don't know the parts of the step vault, they're not going to be able to self-assess themselves. But if they know where their foot goes, where their hand goes, how their chest needs to be up, then they can think through, was my foot in a good position? Yes or no? Was my hand in a good position? Yes or no? Was my chest up or down? So helping your kids know the elements that make good movement helps them know how to self-assess and think, am I doing a good job? What do I need to improve on? My second tip for helping your kids learn how to self-assess their movement and decide how they're doing, what they want to improve on, is to help them think through how much impact they are feeling. In general, the less impact you feel, the better it is for your body. So we want to be silent like a ninja. Yes, that's cool, but it's also a safety reminder. So helping your kids assess how much impact did they feel. You know, if they jumped 5 foot and they felt it all the way down their body, they probably don't need to be jumping 5 feet that much. They probably need to work on their landings from 1 or 2 feet. But if they jumped 5 feet and knew how to roll and they didn't feel any impact, well, that's a sign maybe they're getting better at their technique and their form. So helping your kids think through how much impact they're feeling and then assess if it's too much, I need to work on my basics. If I'm not feeling any at all, maybe I could consider gradually taking bigger jumps. I say gradually because you don't want to get overconfident and then start taking massive jumps before you're ready and then end up getting hurt. My third tip for helping your kids learn how to self-assess their movement is to help them think through how in control they felt. As a general rule in parkour, we want to always be in control of our body. When you are not in control of your body, that is when a lot of injuries and bad stuff starts happening. You could be on the ground and not in control of your body and be in more risk of danger than being up high and in complete control of your body. So helping them think through, how in control did you feel? Did you feel like you knew exactly what you were doing? Or did you feel like you may or may not fall? Or did you feel like, you know, if you started to fall, you knew exactly where your hands were going to go? Helping them assess how in control of their body is so important for helping your kids stay safe. And then my fourth tip for helping your kids learn how to self-assess their movement is to help them think through one thing that they did really well and one thing they want to get better at. I like to put those two together because if you only focus on what they're doing well at, they're going to tend to get a little cocky, think they know everything, and when we know everything, then we tend to not want to learn and get better. But if you only focus on what you need to get better at, then we start feeling down on ourselves. We feel discouraged. So we want that balance. Now, it may be a little different for your child. If you have a child who is always down on themselves, you may need to just focus on the positive things, or vice versa. So you as a parent know what is best for your kid, but I am going to encourage you to think about coupling that one thing you did good at, one thing you want to get better at, and having them tell you and giving them time to think. Because when you first start doing this exercise, it's very natural for your kids to not be able to think of anything or only think of something really basic. But giving them time to think and regularly asking that question is gonna make it something that's just natural, and your kids can be constantly thinking, what am I doing good at? What do I want to get better at? So that is a great way to help your kids learn how to self-assess their movement so they can decide how they want to improve and what they've been doing good at and where they want to celebrate that they've made progress. Make sure, if you haven't watched part 1, where we talked about helping your kids learn how to self-assess movement and decide if it's a good choice for them or not, make sure you watch that too. It is so important to help your kids learn how to self-assess so that they can promote safety and autonomy and responsibility. Thank you so much for joining me. If you found this video valuable, it would mean so much to me if you would hit the like button and subscribe and share it with a friend it could help.